Hey guys, MCU Collector here with another figure review. Next up is the Mezco Toyz, the 112 Collective Zack Snyder's Justice League 3-pack of Batman, Superman, and The Flash. Big shout out and thank you to Big Bad Toy Store for getting this out to me. I was very curious to see how these figures are. I'm in the minority, but I actually really liked Zack Snyder's Justice League. The original Justice League, when it came out in theaters, I watched it and I was like, yeah, this is cool. I was entertained or whatever. I didn't think it was great. I didn't think it was absolutely horrible or anything. I was a fan of Man of Steel. Batman vs. Superman, I didn't care for much. But when I saw the extended cut of Batman vs. Superman, I'm like, oh, okay, this is a little bit better. Makes a little bit more sense. Still a stretch for a lot of the things that are going on there. But one thing that was very clear is I absolutely love Ben Affleck's Batman. I was a big fan of Henry Cavill's Superman. So here we have this 3-pack and I'm excited for it. You know, I would like a really good Ben Affleck Batman figure and a really good Henry Cavill Superman figure, and I'm hoping that this Mezco Toyz set will have it. Here on the front we have this large tin. We get the Justice League logo there. It's just all kind of broken up in stone. And then on the back you can see the 3 characters that are included in this tin. So Batman, Superman, and The Flash. The Flash, Ezra Miller, has got some issues or whatever. I'm really excited for these two. Not so much The Flash. These two did have prior releases before. I think Batman is essentially going to be the same or very similar to what came before. Superman is in the black suit this time as opposed to the red and blue suit that had been released by Mezco, and then Flash is going to be all new. So let's go ahead and open it up and take a look at these figures. Okay, so just so you guys know how kind of the trays work and everything with Mezco, here it looks like we got our 3 figures. Each one does come with some alternate heads. It looks like Flash comes with 1. Batman has a total of 3 heads, so Flash 2 heads, Batman 3 heads, Superman 3 heads, which is awesome. Superman, it looks like he has 2 additional sets of hands. Batman's got 1, 2, 3 additional sets of hands, maybe 4. He's got a grapple gun, and then Flash has 1, 2, 2.5 extra sets of hands, so that is pretty cool. And then the bottom tray, we get the 3 stands. As you can see, the 3 Mezco stands that come with every Mezco 112 Collective figure. And then we have some additional accessories here. So we got some batteries, which will go, I think, to the mother box that's there. And then we get these lightning effect, Speed Force lightning effect pieces for the Flash, which is really cool. Then we have a grapple gun for Batman. It looks like some bomb pieces, maybe smoke bombs. And then we get 3 batarangs, which are pretty nice. I'm not going to remove the stands. If you have a Mezco figure, you already know what the stands are all about. But I'm going to try and put these lightning effect pieces onto the Flash to see how they look. We actually did get an instruction sheet that shows us what to do with those or how to apply them to the figure, which is pretty good. And then putting the batteries in the mother box and everything like that. You know, we have the grapple gun with the grappling hook. Yeah, so there we go. Okay, so here I have the figures out of the package. My first reactions from immediately taking them out are I really, really, really like this Superman figure. I really, really, really like this Batman figure. And Flash is just kind of there. Like, in all honesty, like, Superman, really good. Batman, really good. Flash, there's something that looks odd about the torso and the legs. It just doesn't look real proportionate, which is unfortunate because that's like the new figure that should have been like the big key selling point to this set, because people would have had a Superman. People may have had the Batman. They didn't have the black suit Superman, sure. So it is kind of odd that the Flash wouldn't be as good. But Superman, Batman, I think make the set worth it because they're just really, really good. One weird thing about mine, though, and this is like a blessing in disguise or something cool. I don't know what the real benefit would be to this one, but for some reason, I have one extra Henry Cavill head that came underneath the figure, which was kind of odd. So I got 2 of these same head sculpts. So that is not normal. There. So that was like a nice little surprise in addition to liking these. But let's go ahead and go over the accessories and things like that for each figure and take a look at each one. I'm going to do the close-ups for each one, and then we'll take a look at each one individually. We'll probably go with Flash first, kind of get him out of the way since he's not as good as the other 2. And then we'll probably look at Batman next and then Superman to finish off because I think I like the Superman figure the best. Okay, so here we have an up-close look. This is the alternate head that I put on there. I don't know that it's a perfect Ezra Miller likeness. I think it's okay. The helmet itself looks pretty good and whatnot. Skin tone looks something, just seems a little off with the skin tone. looks a little soft or something, but otherwise it looks okay for a Flash head. Again, I don't see a real big Ezra Miller likeness in this one, and his mouth is just kind of slightly open. The one that actually came on the figure out of package, as you can see there, I can kind of see it a little bit there, but again, there's not a whole lot since the majority of his face is covered. And one thing that I like about the design, if you look at like the helmet and the neck, the way the design of the armor pieces or whatever kind of really fit together. So we have the Flash there. As you can see, there's very little soft goods on him. The torso and the upper legs have the soft goods. The lower legs are all plastic, and that's what's, I think, the big difference with Mezco is Mezco, you know, we're used to seeing the soft goods, where the soft goods cover an entire figure, kind of like Superman, right? Well, other than the lower legs, of course. But this guy, you know, we only get the soft goods up until the thigh, and then here it's just all plastic leg there. The arms are all plastic, so you just have the soft goods that's under the torso, and then this like other piece is like a rubber overlay there, which then I think also causes the torso to look bigger and make the legs seem too thin and just kind of disproportionate with the body. I think that's probably why I think the Flash just isn't as good compared to the other two. I think that's kind of the reason for that. You know, I think his arms, and maybe his arms are a little bit short, or just something with, I think it's the legs that are really just throwing it off. So that's, you know, the unfortunate part, because of the rubber overlay and the lack of soft goods. Whereas for Mezco figures, like I like soft goods, you know, over majority of it, because I think that's what they're good at, right? So it's just kind of tough. There's good sculpted detail and paintwork throughout the figure, though. There really is, and Mezco always knocks it out of the park with stuff like that. So that's really not surprising. In terms of accessories that the Flash specifically comes with, he has these extra hands. So he has the finger hand, so where, you know, like I think he hit like Wonder Woman's sword to push it back. So we do get that hand. We get these open hands there, and then we got like the running hands there. And then we have like the lightning effect pieces. So what I'm going to do for you guys is put these lightning effect pieces on there, swap out the hands, and let's get Flash into one of the running poses. Okay, so this also might be my fault. These lightning effect pieces are a little bit tricky to kind of work with. You just kind of have to stick them on the figure, and just hopefully they can kind of stay. There's 5 different pieces, so I'm like the 5th piece. I don't know, I just put it around his torso, I guess. From the side view, you can kind of get it, right? He's running through the Speed Force, which is cool, but they all kind of just sit on there. I mean, I like the idea of it. The tricky part is that you can't get Flash into a really good running pose, and I think that's what really hurts it. Because if you can get him into a better running pose, I think this could look a little bit better. You know what? Let's go ahead and do the articulation for the Flash so you guys can see, you know, what I'm talking about. The head is on a dumbbell joint, or just, I guess, a ball peg. I guess it's a little bit of a double ball peg, but not a whole lot. So he's not going to be able to look up. Really, he doesn't really hold down. I guess it's down a little bit. You do a rotation in there, and you got some pivot going on, which is all good. The arm you can get to go straight on out like so, which is good. Obviously, with the soft goods, you cannot do a full rotation, but you can move back a little bit. You got a little bit of a swivel on that upper bicep, double jointed elbow, like so, wrist swivel, and they hinge there. They're on a ball peg. Swapping out the hands is very easy. They just come off very simple like so, and then you could just plug in one of the extra hands that he comes with. So the torso articulation, I don't find any torso articulation. I guess there's a ball joint at the waist, so I can get him to tilt to his right a little bit there, and then tilt to the left a little bit there, but there's no crunch really in there, and that's what hurts the figure from being able to get into a good running pose, because there's no movement there because they did a rubber overlay. Now, I know it, again, Mezco is known for their soft goods, but I wouldn't have been opposed to a full plastic body and then just not have soft goods. And I'm trying to think if they've ever actually done that. Like Conan is mostly like a plastic body, but he's got some soft goods parts, so maybe that wouldn't have been a thing. I'm not really sure, but because of that, there's just no movement in there, and that just makes it a little bit difficult. And then that ball joint at the waist, there's a little bit of swivel in there. You can't turn them a whole lot, but you can a little bit. Legs go out very little. You can't really spread them out further than that. And I don't know if I think it's because the hard plastic piece of the leg just kind of hits the hip, so it's not going to allow for any additional movement. Coming forward is only that far. Going back a little bit there. There's somewhat of a thigh cut in there, just so you guys know. Double jointed knee, like so. And then the feet are just kind of on a ball peg, so you can't really hinge them a whole lot. So up a little bit, but back, not so much. Tiny bit of pivot. You do have pickles at the bottom of the feet. So for Flash, again, it looks okay aesthetically. Good paint work, good sculpt work. And the accessories are cool. I like the idea. Again, it's just difficulty because you cannot get Flash into good running poses. So let's go ahead and now check out Batman. Okay, so here we have a look at Batman, and man, I really like this figure, and I really like the Ben Affleck Batman. My favorite Batman. That's not to say that Michael Keaton wasn't good. Take the nostalgia glasses off, and I just don't buy him as the best Batman. Christian Bale was great. His raspy voice, you know, after a while, I'm like, I don't really care for the voice. Robert Pattinson was a good Batman. I just didn't believe him as Bruce Wayne. I get it's a younger Bruce Wayne. It's in his first year. Blah 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 blah. Whatever. Not my favorite movie. Good movie. Not my favorite. But Ben Affleck is my favorite movie Batman. He just is. I thought, you know, that warehouse scene, everyone's going to talk about the warehouse scene. The warehouse scene was badass. But also, let's not forget, he played a good Bruce Wayne in those few scenes that he was Bruce Wayne in Batman v Superman. My favorite Batman, I know there are people that agree, people that really disagree. And that's cool. We can all have our opinions. But here we have it. Somewhat of a Ben Affleck look. Not the greatest. But I want to say this is an improvement on what Mezco had released before. And I could be wrong on that. I don't know the full history. You guys will have to let me know. But I can see somewhat of a Ben Affleck likeness in there. It's not the greatest. Now, Mezco is hit or miss when it comes to their likenesses. Knocked it out of the park with Chris Hemsworth Thor. It is my favorite Mezco figure. And I regret having sold it off a while ago. I kind of wish I had it again, but maybe one of these days I'll get it again. But we have that there. We have two additional Batman head sculpts. We have one with a slightly open mouth, and I don't know what's with the obsession with these open mouths. But the sculpt of it looks pretty good. The cowl, I just don't understand. I mean, I guess it's like kind of gritty, like a little bit angry in there. Not my favorite head sculpt. This one is, though. Just kind of the stoic Batman. There. So that one I think looks pretty good. I do think, I don't know if the shape of it, the shape should be the same. I don't know what it is, but I like it. You know, obviously, you know, for display purposes, I'll leave it as Batman and not Bruce Wayne, but it looks pretty good. We get that large bat logo there. The thing about Mezco, we get a lot of the line work that'd be very prevalent that we wouldn't necessarily see. Like if those were seam lines, you wouldn't necessarily see that. It wouldn't be as prominent like on a suit. Like if you look at the DC Multiverse figure, you know, like it has this, like a lot of those same line works, but it's just because those are the seams. Where on the Mezco soft goods, you really see those seams, and it comes through. We get some nice gold accenting in some areas. Sculpt of it is really nice. The utility belt's got some nice gold in there as well. He's got gold tip steel toe boots. We have this vinyl-like material for his cape, and the cape stretches really wide, as you can see there. So that is good. It does have the bendy wire along the sides of the cape, not at the end, so you can't really, like, you know, fold it out and pose it out over there. And it's just, it's like a lot of cape, so I kind of like fold it over like this just to kind of get it over the shoulders, so you kind of how I had it there, just so you could see like the Batman logo in his suit and everything like that. But nice Batman figure. He's got a few different accessories that he comes with. So he's got the grappling hook. So as you can see here, we got the 3 batarangs there. We have the grappling hook, and there's a couple of extra pieces. In fact, the instruction sheet actually shows me, you know, what I got to do for the grappling hook and the grappling gun. So I'm gonna see that. These things are so small and I'm scared to lose them, so I got to be very careful with that. So we have the grappling gun there, and it looks like we have the trigger finger hand for the grappling gun. We have 2 hands that have batarangs in them. We have these open hands and these standard grip hands on the figure itself. He's got fists. So let's go ahead and check out those accessories closer. Okay, so the accessories are so small, it's scary how small they are. I also forgot, he does come with the Parademon rifle also. The sculpt of this is kind of insane. It has this nice like silver base plastic with a nice dark wash over it just to really bring out the grittiness of it. Looks really good. I like that. The batarangs, and we get 3 of these, and I'm only going to show one because I'm scared that I'm going to either snap it in half. It's a little pliable. I'm not going to snap it in half. Or just that I'm going to lose them. Nice silver paint to these. We got 3 of these. And then kind of 5 because we have the hands to where he's actually holding the batarangs already. As you can see there, it's not something where you're going to remove those batarangs. It's glued in there quite nicely. So we have that. And again, 1 for each left and right. So that is pretty cool that we have that there. We get 3 of these teeny tiny grenades. Teeny tiny grenades. I'm scared I'm going to lose these. Be very careful. But there's 3 of them. The grappling gun looks really nice, as you can see there. Nice wood grain, like look to the handle there. It's got some nice silver and a little bit of wash on there. That looks pretty good. Now we have a grappling hook, as you can see there. It's got bendy wire, so you can actually port that in here. Like it slips in like so, and then you could use the grappling hook, you know, how you want to do that. So that is a nice touch there. And then along with that, and I think I lost it. No, I got it. We have an extra hook here just by itself. And then this would be like the grapnel piece before it's fired out. So we get these two pieces there. So again, teeny tiny. But Mezco, their accessories are just so damn good. They do such a good job with these accessories and the little details of things, and it's just awesome. I think this could probably kind of port in there as well. There you go. So then you can shoot off, you know, the grappling hook, and then you can do all kinds of good stuff. But very scary. I'm going to put these away so I don't lose them because it scares me. And then just so you know, like trigger finger hand, you can probably position this in a certain way to get his hand in there. Let me see. Yeah, like so. Okay, so Batman's articulation, you gotta have to kind of try and get the cape out a little bit. The head can do full rotation, and you get some good pivot on there. They come off very easily, and then he can't really look up. He can look down, though, which is good. I remember that very first image of Batman, his suit and everything, and Ben Affleck being revealed. He kind of looked like this off in the distance, you know, next to the Batmobile. So that was pretty cool. There, the arms, you can get the arms to go straight on out like so. Can move them up pretty far. You obviously cannot do a full rotation. There is an upper bicep swivel hidden in there somewhere. Double jointed elbow that gives you that much bend there. Wrist swivel, and they do hinge there on ball joints, so you can get them around any way you need to do. We have a diaphragm cut on Batman, so he could tilt to his left that much, which is good. He could tilt to his right that much, which is good. Coming forward, see, without using the hips, he can come forward that much. That is pretty darn good. He can go back a little bit on that upper diaphragm, which is cool. You get a swivel at that diaphragm, and it feels like there's a swivel at that waist as well. So pretty good motion on the upper part of his body. Legs go out pretty far apart, as you can see there. He can kick forward that far there. The leg goes back quite a bit. You got an upper thigh cut hidden in there. You got a double jointed knee like so. You get a little bit of a swivel at the boot cut. I wouldn't say you can do full rotation, but you do get some swivel in there, which is good. The unfortunate thing is you're not going to get a lot of motion in the ankle. So down, not a whole lot. Up, not a whole lot. Pivot, not a whole lot. And you have peg holes at the bottom of the feet. Even still, with some of the limited articulation, still a very good looking Batman. Like, I'm very happy with this. The DC Multiverse was cool, but it's 7-inch. His head seems a little like narrow and tall. The legs are super long. Like when I think of a Ben Affleck Batman figure that I want to have, this is it, and I'm very, very, very happy with it. And then, of course, you can articulate the cape in certain ways so it's blowing in the wind. You know, the ends of it don't have the bendy wire. I know they make clips. I think Mezco's had some before, but you could do stuff like that and then put it out. But this one doesn't have it, so we just use the bendy wire on the sides. I'm cheating because I'm using a little finger light with a real little red finger light. I love this Superman figure. You know what? I said it. I absolutely love this Superman figure. Yeah, that's it. Review done. It's so good. This is exactly why I had wanted the set, was for a good Henry Cavill Superman. So we have 3 different heads. So let's go ahead and get that out of the way. Here is the I-beam one, as you can see there. I mean, there's some thick red plastic there. Looks pretty good. We're going to take that off. We get one with the open mouth for whatever reason, slightly open mouth. And his face is pretty orange, so it looks like he got a little bit of a Jersey tan going. That sucks. And this is that same head sculpt where, for whatever reason, I got 2 of them, because one was actually still in a little plastic bag underneath this figure. So I'm like, that's a weird place to put an extra head. So then I noticed, I'm like, oh, these 2 heads are the exact same. So that's weird. So that just must be, that's clearly an error there, right? So, wait, are they the same? Yeah, they're the same. I think I'm going all crazy. I'm like studying the hairlines and everything. So, extra head, that is cool. And then this one, which would be my go-to, as you can see there. Again, a little bit of that Jersey Shore tan a little too much. Even on this one, and it's not a complete match with the neck, as you could see. Those I don't like those things, but I can overlook them because I'm very, very happy with the figure. So Henry Cavill, is it a perfect likeness? Absolutely not. No, 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 no. Is it a good likeness? Sure, I will say it's good. But like when I look at it, I'm like, oh yeah, that's Henry Cavill for sure. So that's why I'm happy with it. I like red and blue suit would be cool to have, sure. But, you know, again, I like the Snyder cut, the Zack Snyder's Justice League. I enjoyed the movie. It was 4 hours long. There were a couple of things that I didn't like the singing on the Swedish beach or wherever, Norwegian beach or whatever with Aquaman. I thought that was awkward and really weird. But overall, I just really liked the movie. I'm sorry, guys. I know some people liked it, some people hated it, some people didn't want to sit through 4 hours of it. But I liked it. And the black and silver suit, the recovery suit, I dig it. I really do. So here we have it. So not too bad. The silver Superman logo on there, it looks pretty good. You don't really see the waves in the S as much. They are there. It's just difficult to see. I mean, you can kind of see it right there. But other than that, it's just black. We get whatever these lines were. I always thought that was weird in the suit. But when it's black on black, you don't notice it as much. When it's blue on a different shade of blue, you know, you could really notice it. A little bit of a silver line there. A little bit in the front there. But otherwise, yeah, I dig it. I like it a lot. We have the cape, similar to Batman's cape. We have the bendy wire on the sides of the cape, not on the end. And then full out, you can see how big the cape is. But man, yeah, I really like it. You can try and get the cape to flow out a little bit, as you can see there. So you can get him into certain poses like he's standing in the wind and the wind is blowing. But yeah, I dig it a lot. Superman doesn't come with nearly as much accessories. I mean, I guess this would be the biggest thing. He has the extra head sculpt because he has the I-beams in there. And then he's got other hands. So he's got fists on the package, and then he's just got open hands, and then he's got like the straight out flight posing hands there. And that's going to be it for accessories for Superman. So now let's go ahead and take a look at his articulation. Okay, so Superman's articulation, he can look up the most out of the three, which is good because, you know, again, if you're going to get him into some flight poses, he's got to be able to kind of look out to fly. So that is good. He can look all the way down. The neck itself has some articulation in there. The neck, you can do a whole lot of pivot and everything, as you can see there, full rotation, all of that good stuff. The arms, he's got a big upper torso. You can get the arm to go straight on out like so. You can move it upwards, you can move it backwards there. You have an upper bicep swivel in there. It is very stiff. Just so you know, the cloth on this is is a lot softer. It doesn't feel as vinyl as like Batman does. So for me, it feels safer moving this around too. Just a heads up on that. Double jointed elbow gives you that much bend there. Wrists swivel and they do hinge. They are on the ball joint, so you can move them around as needed. Superman has that diaphragm cut, so he could tilt to his left that much there. He can tilt to his right that much there, so good range of motion. He can go back with the ball joint waist and that upper diaphragm that much like so, and then coming forward you can go, wow, look at that. That is pretty darn good. Really, really good. You can swivel at that diaphragm up there, and then you could swivel at the waist. I recommend swiveling at the diaphragm and not at the waist. Legs go out that far apart, which is good. He can kick forward that far, which is good. Goes back a little bit. You do have an upper thigh cut in there. I would say be careful with that, though. You get a double jointed knee, so that much bend at the knee. The boot does swivel. The foot, again, we have the trouble of you can hinge it up a little bit. You can't really hinge it back down very much. There's not a whole lot of pivot in there. You do have peg holes at the bottom of the feet. One thing that's kind of weird, his legs do get a little thin, and I wish they were a little bit thicker here. And then his feet, he's got some big-ass feet. Like they seem unproportionately larger, which is the thing. I mean, it helps to keep him more stable, so I don't mind that. It stands out a little bit, and I just think it's because his legs get so thin. But that would be my only complaint. But other than that, again, I just really, really like this figure, guys. I know it's not perfect, but I'm just really happy with it. Okay, so here we have the mother box. I put the batteries in, such a pain. The batteries are so tiny, so it's just kind of a pain. But I'll be honest with you, the mother box, the lighting isn't great. As you can see, that you could just see the LED lighting straight through. Like if you have it in the corner, I guess it's not so bad. You see some of it shining through, but I think some of that is actually just reflection from my bright lights. Like if you take those lights away, you know, here we see a little bit of the reflection, but again, take those lights away. Like the light, it's not as effective as I think they were hoping for. I mean, it's a nice touch if something's like really dark, but like even here, like I've turned off some of the lights. If I turn it back on, like I don't know how much you could really notice that it's there. But it's cool. You know, I like that we got that accessory in some way. But there we have it. So there are the Justice League, Zack Snyder's Justice League specifically. I'm extremely happy with this set. Batman and Superman exceeded my expectations, and I'm very happy with them. That's what I wanted, was to be able to have a good Henry Cavill Superman, a good Ben Affleck Batman, and that's what we got here. Two really good figures, and then a mediocre Flash figure, unfortunately. You know, he comes in the set, it's in the deluxe tin and everything. A bunch of accessories that I'm very happy with that are teeny tiny pieces that I'm scared to lose, but I'm really happy with it. You guys let me know down in the comments below what you think of this set. Remember, it is in stock right now at bigbadtoystore.com, so link in the video description below, and then make sure to check out the site for all your other action figure needs, so bigbadtoystore.com. Again, link in the video description below. If you guys like this video, please do me a favor and hit that thumbs up button, subscribe if you haven't already done so, and as always, thank you for watching.